Good morning. Good morning. Bola de crudos. Wake up. It's early in the morning, but we want to thank you for tuning in to episode 4. We got a great show lined up for you. Of course, I'm Hugo, the Juice.
Adolf.
Big Manny in the house.
And today we got lined up, of course, we're going to beat it again, Zeke's appeal. We'll also break down the AFC this week. We did the NFC last week, and we'll also talk about AFC fantasy players. We'll recap week 2 or 3, depending on what you want to call for the preseason, and we got a lot more, including some other hot rangers. So, you guys, with further ado, let's get on the show.
You're now tuned in to the Sports Cave on #Chimps.
First, I want to give a shout out before I get in trouble to our K-Vets out in Houston repping the Cowboys and the Sports Cave, repping for the movement. So thank you, ladies, for driving around Energy Stadium and shouting out for the Sports Cave, the movement.
Yeah, they were talking crap to people in the stadium. I don't even know if any people were there at the time.
I don't know. There was a game.
Oh, there was a game going on? Okay.
The Patriots are playing the Houston.
Oh, that's right.
But thank you for shouting out.
What's up?
Right.
We are
repping
all around. I mentioned before, we have a fan in Canada, some in South Texas.
We're trying to make
Florida.
this a nationwide, international type movement.
And now we hit Houston. I won't get into Houston because they're teams that I...
South Texas, too.
Un jateador soy.
Going to Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi.
Dubai,
Yeah,
hopefully.
so it's growing.
Ross, what up?
It's growing. So
Right.
First things first, man, let's address the elephant in the room. Zeke. I know we hate to talk about it, but we're local here. We have to. It's in our face 24/7.
It's NFL news. It's headline news.
Especially if it's Cowboy news.
He filed his appeal as expected. Like, he filed it within the 3 days that he was given. Now there's 10 days for them to...
I believe they said the 29th.
Yeah,
is when-
August 29th.
So, man, I don't know. There's a lot of, my personal opinion, there's a lot of mishandling of this situation. But, of course, I'm just going to be a little biased because it's Zeke and I want him to play. But they can rule suspensions without them being charged legally. So it's kind of in the NFL's hands now. But I know they're getting a lot of flack.
And apparently without meeting with the people that are involved. They didn't, and Goodell didn't meet with Zeke.
He wasn't even in any of the discussions, any of the meetings with Zeke. He didn't even meet the accuser. So how can he make a decision on something he knows nothing about?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that don't want to talk about it. Vinatieri, the kicker for Indy, he's on the board.
OG.
He's on the board, and he doesn't even want to talk about it. I mean, he's there. He's of course supporting because for the player association, and he meant. But his quote when he was interviewed said that he does not want to speak on the actual case because he doesn't know much about it.
Right.
I think it's a touchy subject for everybody. I think everyone's trying to kind of avoid it, but it's not getting swept under the rug. I know Jerry Jones is prepping. He said he's going to make decisions. He's still waiting to see what he's going to do, but it's not looking pretty for the NFL or the Cowboys. Either way it goes, it's not looking like it's going to be a short decision.
Yeah, everybody's been trying to separate themselves from it, but the people involved, it's just going back and forth. They're jabbing at each other on Twitter. The NFLPA's been getting with the league. You know, they're going back and forth, kind of putting blame on each other. But I mean, from what I've read, not even being biased, being a Cowboys fan, but from what I've read, a lot of the information out there and the text messages that are out there, I mean, she brought race into it. You know, saying, you know, I'm white, he's black, we're going to get this money, basically, is what she was saying. And I don't see how they saw past that. They didn't even bother to look further into that. And there was twice that she tried to lie. Once to, you know, say, you know, that she's going to blackmail him, and another to say that he was the one that put those bruises on her, even though there's evidence that says that she was in a fight the same night that those bruises happened.
Right. Even Zeke's father has been involved as well on Twitter, letting people know that she didn't try to do anything until she wasn't invited to his party. Once she knew that she was going to get cut off, and a lot more things started to surface.
I mean, you can't deny the fact.
A lot of accusations came out.
You know, he filed a report with the police department when she called him like 50 times.
In Frisco,
Yeah, he went down to Frisco and filed a harassment suit on her.
That's a lot of calls,
y'all. So, I mean, you know, to me, you can clearly see she's crazy. I'm not saying he didn't have no guilt. I mean, yeah, he's been out there doing things he shouldn't be doing that made him look bad. But that doesn't automatically make you guilty of domestic violence just because, you know, you done other things that, oh, well, he's got to be guilty. He's out there doing this and doing that. that don't make you automatically guilty of something, especially when you're slandering the man's name.
That's the thing that I see is that it puts a label on him no matter what, regardless of he's innocent or not. By the rule of law, he's innocent.
Right.
But the NFL is going above and beyond, and I just think I think Goodell's got a bone to pick with Jerry Jones. I don't know if he's jealous of the power that he has. Maybe I don't know. That's just my thoughts.
The Cowboys far and away have the most suspended players over the last few years, or over the last like 10 years, by far and away. It's night and day compared to all the other teams. So we've had a lot of suspensions. That's an interesting point.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe because of Jerry
America's
challenging
team,
different
man.
things. America's team, we're a high profile team, so that might be a part of it as
in the
well.
limelight, yeah.
We're always in the limelight.
But it's but the Cowboys are to me beneficial to the NFL. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
And you're
this
talking
is
about a
keeping-
star player. This is
Yeah.
going to hang over him for the rest of his career, and he should have a bright career just based on what he's done in college and on his talent and his team, the whole situation. So this is something that's going to follow him forever, and it's always going to be that cloud over him for the rest of his career. So he's going to be walking a very fine line.
Yeah, and then now he's got to really keep in tune with what he's doing, and that's. I'm not saying he shouldn't already be doing that, but now he's gonna have more cautious, and it may hinder his lifestyle. You know, he's not gonna go out as much probably. Hopefully,
We'll
straighten
hope
up,
so.
Zeke. I'm SportsCave said it now. Straighten up. I mean,
Do it.
you're a great player. We want you around. But with that being said, I think that we'll be okay.
Well, yeah. Hey, last night McFadden looked good. Rod Smith looked good.
Rod Smith
Running
was-
game was looking
Ross
nice.
was running people over.
Yeah, he
last
was.
night.
He was looking for that
It was
contact.
awesome
And
to see.
McFadden, minus that fumble, he had like a 6.0 yard per carry.
Sure.
So I mean, that's
The line is making some changes. We're moving people around, and we're bringing some other guys in on the left side. But they still look great. I mean, they was running through the trenches.
Yeah, downfield. I love watching McFadden do his thing, and classic McFadden just running straight downhill and getting big chunk yards each play. I think he's going to be all right. That fumble was costly. That we had a couple.
But it wasn't as bad as that
Couple
Kellen
of
Moore
costly-
fumble.
Yeah.
no, that
Costly
fumble, the
turnovers.
fumble with McFadden,
Yeah.
it was just a good hit
Yeah,
at
it's a
the
good
right
hit.
part. The
But,
Moore fumble was
I
ridiculous.
like it how McFadden's more of a bruiser inside, and I think Zeke's a little more finesse because he can slip out.
Yeah.
And then once you get Zeke on the outside and he hits that corner, he's gone. But
We got some bruises this
he's
year.
got
because
home run
Rod Smith,
potential.
man.
we got a lot of guys that are trying to prove themselves, and I think we're pretty deep in the running back game, and I think
Hellman.
the receiver game we're still doing pretty good too. I mean, they're deep. Tight ends, Rico was out, of course, had a concussion protocol. So, but I think we're looking good. But we definitely will go back to Zeke. Zeke, straighten up, please.
Right.
We don't want to get off topic too much. I know, but we'll see. It's going to be interesting what Jerry Jones does too. I'm sure he's going to put all his resources into getting Zeke the help that he needs, whether it be legal or.
I just hope they don't try to drag it out like they've done in times past.
Yeah.
You know, where they just keep dragging it out, making it a bigger deal than what it needs to be. I mean, if the he couldn't be found guilty in the court of criminal law, what makes you think that you could just come in here and just because of what you think was the true story,
What you believe,
yeah, and because there's no proof that he didn't do it, he's guilty. That's not how it works. You're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. You're basically saying you're guilty because it looks like you did it, but we have no proof to say that you did it.
And good morning, Ronnie. Thank you for your comments. You did bring up a good point. They gave him 6, so he'd appeal and go to 4. That's probably what they did. I think we were on the same page last week. Kind of the same thing they did to Brady.
The thing about the appeal process is we never know exactly when it's going to be executed. Let's say if he does appeal and they say, okay, we're going to listen to this and we're going to drag it out. Just like the Tom Brady thing, it took over a season to get done.
The whole thing.
Hopefully it doesn't take that long, but it's possible, and it's possible he could get suspended later on in the year.
And when we
than
talk
now.
about fantasy,
right,
we'll
when we
bring
really
that-
need him, just like Manny said, the playoff push.
We'll bring that up when we talk about fantasy. 'Cause That's
Okay.
going to definitely affect when you pick them and when you don't, if
Okay.
you take that risk. But that's a good point. Good morning, Will. Thank you for your comment. Des did look great. That first
that
drive,
spin
man.
move, oh my god, that was awesome.
Man.
On the touchdown. I know you're talking about the first
Yeah.
drive, but yeah, that touchdown, that was awesome. That spin move inside that he did, that catch shook one dude off, he ran in,
He's
and then
a
did the
beast
spin move
at
on the
what
other
y'all got
guy.
to catch.
Yes,
That's
it was
one
awesome.
one wide receiver you can't defend that back shoulder or fade drop like.
They've had that going since early last year before Dak Prescott was Dak Prescott. I mean,
Yeah.
he's been Dak Prescott, but you didn't know that he was going to be that stud. And he that was the first play that he put on, and
That
they
back
got
shoulder
that
drop.
thing down.
Like,
Yes.
man,
And
they're
now they
looking
got a whole
good.
offseason to practice it
Yes,
too. Oh,
yes,
man,
it's
that
beautiful.
chemistry is going to be ridiculous.
They're
Oh,
looking good. I'm
yes.
telling
I
you,
mean,
man.
the chemistry in that locker room now between Dak and Dez finally stepping up and being a leader. And, I mean, a lot of people, they may not like Dez's style, but he's a leader. He keeps that locker room together. He's a veteran presence in the locker room. And I think Dak, coming in there and being the type of leader that he is, even at his young age, that locker room is together.
Yeah,
the offensive line, they stick together everywhere. Every time they walk out to practice, they're together. That's one thing that I'm liking a lot is the chemistry that our teams have.
The line takes pride in pushing people back on defense, and then they see it in practice too. So, man, there's definitely not much concern on the offensive side for me.
To touch on Manny's point, Dez to me is the heart of the team. He reminds me of Michael Irvin back in the day. Like everybody feeds off of him and his energy. When Dez is right, the whole team is playing, and he goes over there and hypes different people up. I know sometimes he has an attitude, and he can be frustrating with the coaches, but I think he's learning to channel it, and he goes and talks to the players, and I think they feed off each other. I think that's a big part of them and having him do well and him not get so frustrated. Last year he had an injury-plagued season, and there was a lot of frustration in his season. This year, from what I've heard in camp, like he's beasting, he's looking good, and I'm excited to see it.
They drove it down the field yesterday with ease. It was just they had maybe one third down, the second drive, or something like that. They had no third down. So I mean, it's coming to ease. That's not with everybody. That of course. We had some people out, but, man, the starters look great.
Beasley just doing what he does.
Beasley does what he does.
Always open.
Yes.
Witt does what he
The
does.
security blanket there.
Witten just a
chilling.
never-ending legend, man. He just keeps
That's my
keeps
Boo's
playing.
Boo 82. Angel Hoy has a good point about Zeke. If you draft him early, you have to reach for Fadden.
Like sixth round, I'm hearing around six-ish. If you're
Thank
bold
you for
enough to
tuning
take
in,
him in
Angel.
there, because you're looking at 6 games or at least 4 games of some productivity.
Yeah.
Somebody else in that same situation or similar situation, just to kind of switch a little bit since we're talking about suspensions, Doug Martin is suspended 2 games. Jaquiz Rogers will be playing at least 2 games, and when he has played, he's filled in nicely too. So that's something that someone else that you might want to watch out, at least if you need for 2 games,
if
or
he doesn't take
or
Doug
if you're looking
Martin's
for somebody
place.
to replace Zeke for at least a couple games. Jaquiz Rogers may be somebody that you might want to look out for also. So
I personally, I'm not scared of the suspensions and drafting players because they will come in a need, and you can sometimes you can't afford to lose a game. Depends how your season goes, but I did the Bell 3 games and I was good.
3 games is still
That's not bad.
6 games.
Yeah,
though.
6 games is definitely.
half. That's half your fantasy.
But it's
season,
going to be
so.
reduced to be. I'm going to call it. It's going to get reduced to 4, if anything, because I don't think they're going to go no suspension with Zeke, just because of the fact that they're trying to prove a point. But even 4 is still kind of, 3 is 3, but 4, and then we're.
This brings up a whole different topic that we haven't touched yet, in regarding fantasy too, and handcuffs. How do you guys approach handcuffs? That's something I've been meaning to get. Do you tend to get handcuffs for all your top running backs? Let's just say not Zeke. Let's just say Le'Veon Bell. This year he doesn't have anybody. Would you take his backup running back later on if you had Le'Veon Bell, or do you stay away from drafting them?
It depends on their backup to me.
Yeah.
Because certain teams have better backups than other ones, like where you
D'Angelo
can do
Williams,
that.
they're beasting,
Yeah.
And then I've gotten Giovanni Bernard, and he was a handcuff, and he still produced a lot. So it really depends on what team they're on and who it is, because Giovanni Bernard, to me, with the PPR, he caught a lot of balls, and he shared time, but he put up a lot of good numbers, consistent numbers for me. I wouldn't say he was the all-star back, but it got me enough numbers when I did draft him that year to get me some good points.
Cool. Yeah.
But it depends on what team it is.
And then there's going to be some interesting backfield committees. New Orleans is going to be interesting with Peterson. So even Seattle is getting interesting too.
Yeah.
Lacey's losing his
Lacey-
job out there. There's
I
a
think
rookie
Lacey
out there
wasn't
that's
as-
beasting.
I don't think he was as productive I thought he was going to be this last game. I caught a little bit of the game. Doug Baldwin was going off with Russell, but I didn't see Lacey do too much, and I was kind of expecting him to do something. I like Lacey. He's a good player.
I've heard some insiders talk about C.J. Prosy too.
Prosy.
Prosy. I don't know how to say his last
All
name.
right. We're not here to butcher names.
But
If we do,
he's
it's okay.
he's looked good so far in a couple of the preseason games that they've played, and some of the insiders have said that he might even end up being one to look out for that late in the draft.
Definitely. A PPR a threat, definitely. If you're in a PPR league, look out for Pro Size.
Yes, definitely.
He was good. Out of Notre Dame.
Know your settings. Because PPR is a whole different ballgame.
Oh,
If you
yeah.
guys never played
Standard
PPR.
versus PPR is a whole
It's
different ballgame.
You can nickel and dime guys out of a win with just a few catches and passes. But I know last week we broke down the NFC. So I think today we're going to go ahead and break down the AFC for you guys. So there's a lot of different things going on in the AFC, a lot of good teams out there still. The Pats, of course, are number 1 overall ranked, and they're in the AFC. But I don't know if anybody's going to throw anybody else out other than the Pats.
I doubt it. When you look at the East, you're talking the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets. None of those teams
have been relevant for the whole run that the New England Patriots have had.
You can name a quarterback in the East other than Tom Brady that you would want to roll with. Like,
I don't know.
For anything.
No.
I'm looking at speaking on just the fantasy projections and all that. Brady's, of course, at up there, but Luck is the next one. He's got a shoulder injury. Then you got Mariota and Carr out of the top. So they're not as Big Ben's there. Tyrod's ranked up kind of high.
No, Tyrod's falling down.
He's falling down.
He might not even be a starter by the end of the
season. Phillip Rivers is out there. He's in the top 20 along with you said Big Ben, Derek Carr. With Oakland's gonna look pretty nice.
Watch out for him. He looked real good
and then
yesterday.
You got your redhead Dalton.
The Red Rifle.
There's just
TCU baby.
I think the Bengals they're either gonna hit or miss. You can never tell with them, but they're playing a tough division.
They're underrated. People sleep on them all the time. They're a defensive team. I think they're built on good defense, but people sleep on them all the time. AJ Green's one of the best receivers in the league. Their running game is gonna be nice with Jeremy Hill, then with the rookie. That they drafted Mixon, so he's got some talent, and they still have they still have Eifert. John Ross is another rookie that they drafted that he should be doing some things as well. Since AJ Green is going to command so much attention, so definitely be on the lookout for the Bengals. That whole division, the Bengals, Ravens, Steelers. And you can't. The Browns. We won't even really talk about them much. They are in the division, but when you look at those teams, they play each other so close. Especially the Ravens and Steelers are always having 3-point games. Yeah, it's awesome. It's one of my favorite divisions just because of the style of play. I mean, the Browns, they are looking better. Even Kaiser's doing better.
Yeah.
I mean, they might sneak a couple games here and there.
I don't think they have any relevance, though.
But but as far as in the division hunt, I don't think they're going to be.
I think it's going to be a close one.
Contending.
The Steelers, as much as I hate to say, are a good team, good organization. We're going to tie that 6. So
you got hate in there somewhere.
I got a little bit of every show I gotta hate on somebody. I gotta hate on somebody
Right. So
every
today?
week, and this week it's gonna be the Steelers.
That's the team.
I feel the Bengals are a pretty good team, but honestly, I think it's time for them to get a coaching change.
You think
Marvin
so?
Lewis?
I think so. I mean, yeah, he's been good consistently, but they've never been able to get past the first round in the playoffs.
Good point, man.
At a certain point, you got to change it up. I mean, if it ain't worked this long, what makes you think another year of running the same offense, the same defense, even with new players, if you're still running some of the plays that they ran? But I mean, you never know.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think they're one of those.
They're always
old
an
school
interesting
teams
team that
could
can tip either way. They could either be really good or they're going to be mediocre.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah, that's one of my favorite divisions to watch play, especially when you get the Steelers and Ravens games going on.
And Joe
The
Flacco's been
rivalries.
hurt too, so that's something that's going to be a factor in that.
you can't ever count out the rivalries in that division.
Yeah,
It kind
that's
of
a good
reminds me of the
rivalry.
AFC East. The rivalries are just old school, just hard knock football. You know what I mean?
Who do you have in that division? Winning that division?
I got the Steelers winning
Me
that
too.
division.
Antonio Brown. Yeah.
They and Le'Veon
Well,
Bell.
he's one of the most dynamic players.
They
And
get a full
Le'Veon
season
Bell.
of
Le'Veon Bell, Big
Come
Ben,
on
and
now.
Antonio Brown.
And don't forget about Martavis Bryant, who's
Yeah.
back this year.
Man, so
Jesse James is starting to be a pretty good tight end over there too.
the
man.
outlaw.
The outlaw.
isn't that your boo? Did you
Nah,
pick
ain't
him
my
up?
boo.
Didn't you pick him up? But yeah,
I did pick him up, I think, but it ain't my boo. He gone. He gone.
So I think we'll agree. AFC North, we got the Steelers.
And then the East, no doubt. The
East,
Patriots, right?
The Patriots.
Definitely the
Okay.
East is the Patriots.
I got a little
There's
hatred for
nothing
them
else
too.
to
Let's
say.
talk about the Patriots backfield. That's another backfield. Gillisley and Rex
decent last year.
Burkhead. Rex Burkhead from the Dallas-Fort Worth area. We know some people that know him. Hopefully we'll get to make some ties.
Maybe we'll
One day,
get some of that
hopefully. But their backfield is something to watch. They're hard to predict no matter who's in
Yeah,
their backfield.
their
Yeah.
running back by committee approach is unpredictable.
And they're saying Gillisley is going to fill that void from the LeGarrette Blount going to Philly. He has one of the most, or he had the highest average for yards after the catch, so that's something to watch out for. He might be a big sleeper. His value is not that high, so that's someone to watch out for in the drafts as well.
With Brady behind center, man, he can just nickel and dime you.
Brandon Cooks now
the whole time.
Right now, you got some more power in Brandon Cooks. Ooh.
Yeah, but
that's something they didn't already need. They were already good with that. A top-notch receiver like
that.
They
had Garoppolo going off in the first 4 games.
Oh yeah.
So that was without Brady. They were going off. Now Brady's going to start the whole. And
Gronk, we haven't even talked about Gronk.
Yeah, well, Gronk's can he stay healthy though?
Well, when he plays,
how high do you draft him though?
He's got 2 safeties all over him.
He's for sure gonna go first tight end.
Doing what he does.
But
he'll be the first tight end for sure.
I think he'll go for in our league. He's gone the first round every
Gronk
year.
And then Kelsey. Shortly after, I imagine.
Yeah, Kelsey's probably going to be the next one. But I think in our league, I can call it right now. Someone in the first round is going to draft him. But the Patriots are going to win that division hands down. Probably still have the best record in the AFC. I think the AFC South.
Titans.
Titans.
That's the team that I have my eye on. I'm excited to see what the Titans do.
I think behind the Cowboys' offensive line, the Titans got one of the best offensive lines too, man. They got some big boys over there.
Yeah, and then
they're doing some stuff over there.
DeMarco Murray, Derrick Henry, and then they got some weapons on the outside. Rashard Matthews. They got a couple Delaney Walker. So they got some options, bro.
Well, I mean, you're in the division with the Jags and then the Colts. And the Texans have got a good defense, and the Texans are making some noise. But the Titans, I think, is a team to watch in that division.
Andrew Luck's hurt as well, so the Colts aren't the Colts.
Yeah,
he
they don't
just
even
doesn't
know
look the same.
How many games he might miss.
Like he did when he first started. He's kind of digressing. Like you thought maybe he would be the next Peyton Manning, but it's not really folding out like that.
He puts up consistent numbers every year, but, man, he gets beat up a lot, too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. They got to protect him, man. I think that's what's killing his plays. He don't have no protection. He just keeps getting hit. Now he can't stay healthy.
Yeah.
The Jags, poor Jags, you kind of feel sorry for them after a certain time.
Yeah,
if they were in a division, then I really wouldn't care. But
their defense is nice, but can their offense keep them on the field? Bortles has been horrible like this whole season. Henny might even take his job if he keeps it up.
Yeah,
so.
that's who's going to replace him, probably.
Yeah, and I mean they got Fournette. They drafted him. He looks exciting, but he is having some ankle issues, and that's something that plagued him last year at last season when he was in LSU. So that's something to watch out for. I would definitely draft him, but keep an eye out on them on Fournette and his whole injury situation too, because that could linger throughout the season.
Hey, just a reminder, guys. You guys feel free to call in. You notice we got our headphones in. We're waiting for phone calls. If you want to call in, the number's on the ticker. Give us a call. We like to have a caller, but if you wanted to shoot some ideas or rant off of a team that you hate, because I see Miss Laura over here not showing any love to the Patriots.
Yeah.
So
what we're mentioning is Will brought up a good point, and thanks, Will, and thanks to everybody that's on the chat lines right now. Will stating that
the request lines are now open.
He's stating that he will draft Tevin Coleman and Devontae Freeman. If you're able to draft both of those dudes, I think you're sitting good. I had Coleman on a lot of teams last year. As far as PPR, he's awesome. You never know when they're going to use who. And like he stated in the injuries, I think that's a good plan. If you're able to get both of those guys, I think your team is going to be.
And he just had another good point about Mariota. He's going to take another step up this year. He
definitely
will.
He's taking a step up every year so far.
He's lost a lot of weight. He's lost around 15 pounds, so he's going to be faster and be able to get away from those guys quicker and be more of a threat to run
the ball.
You got to respect his arm
too. He's a really good quarterback.
I love that. And then his line, like y'all said, is one of the best in the league. So
good running game.
Yeah,
I mean that's a good setup.
Ground and pound, that's what they call it. Ground and pound over there. I like to see them play. Definitely. That's one of those teams that if they're on, I'll sit and watch them. We don't get to see them much in Dallas, but they're definitely exciting.
Every once in a while.
And the Texans, what do y'all think about them? I know their defense is one of the best in the league. The quarterback situation.
The quarterback situation has been an issue for them the last couple of years.
Tom Savage.
Savage actually looked good last night against the Patriots.
Yeah, the first game, Watson looked good. And then from what I heard, is like Manny just said, Savage looked good. So that's something to watch out for, too, to see who's going to be the starting quarterback on game
Watson
one.
got him a rushing touchdown last night.
Nice.
I still think Savage played, pretty good or better than him. I think Watson was only like 3 of 10 on his attempts, so that's not a good percentage.
Yeah, man. I wonder, if you could just get, it might sound crazy if you could just get Watson to do the red zone and Savage to do the rest.
Like in college?
Yeah, bro.
Who was that? There was a team that was doing it not too long ago.
It works in college. But,
you don't see it as often in the NFL, but, shit, if he could do it, you never know.
Why not? Why waste the opportunity for a touchdown?
Yeah.
There you go, NFL coach.
Winning at all
Somebody
costs.
give him a job. Who needs?
Yeah, for real.
Get wins.
Call me.
He's available,
Calm
I
down,
like
Uncle
doing
Rico.
this, but
And he's-
I'm available on Sundays.
and he's cheap.
Calm down,
very
Uncle
cheap.
Rico.
All right. We'll talk about that.
Bundy.
Uncle Rico, calm down.
Al Bundy, 4
Hey,
touchdowns,
man,
poke high.
I think like
I
that.
can
You
throw
got
that
to
football
think
over those
outside of the
mountains.
box, bro. You got to get
You
outside of the
do.
box.
You know, a lot of these teams are taking different approaches. They're the fast-paced offense. The college coaches, quote unquote, are coming in and making some noise. But
Speaking on the Texans,
it's gonna change.
Yeah.
Speaking on the Texans, what do y'all think about Lamar Miller?
I'm okay on him. I wouldn't.
Did y'all
I
think he was
wouldn't
going to
jump
do more
get him.
last year?
I did. I had him on a couple teams, and I drafted him high, and I was.
He didn't. I don't think he produced
he was
that much.
steady.
He's a workhorse,
He was
but
steady,
he
but
wasn't
he-
like
he didn't do
producing
anything
for the
wow.
opportunities he was getting.
Exactly.
To me, he didn't just blow me away.
He
He
did-
had
he'd make much
touches.
noise.
If
Yeah,
you want
yeah, he had
touches
touches.
and base production off of just touches, then yes, I would go for him. For volume, I wouldn't go for him for the big splash. He's not going to get a whole bunch of touchdowns.
Right.
He's not going to do anything.
I know
He's not
the
gonna light it up
Dolphins were
every
happy
week.
they released him because, man, look at what Ajayi did
Oh,
last
yeah.
year.
Man,
man.
Ajayi is one of my
man.
favorite running
I,
backs.
he's
man,
awesome.
I almost pulled the trigger on him, and I was kind of scared because I didn't see enough of him before he took that starting job. And
Shout out to
Man.
Marvin in our league. Marvin out in Austin. He drafted him in our league, and then I kind of like, what, Ajayi? And then I used him, and I drafted him in my other league, and it turned out to be great.
He was
man. So-
lingering on the
Yeah.
waivers.
I tried to make a
Coulda got
trade
him.
for him.
All of us could have had him at one time, and we
And then
did
he
it.
got him, and then he started making noise. Like, man, we
Yeah.
all missed on him.
I tried to trade for him, and it didn't happen. I was sad.
This is what happens when you're cheap, man. You gotta come correct when you come into trades, man. I'm always ready to trade.
Hey, we've had some successful trades between me and you. So
Yes, we have.
I'm a fair owner, man.
Yeah,
collusion.
I'm big time on the trades. I've been trading these bobbleheads like crazy, so y'all boys are in trouble once the football season starts.
Yeah, this guy's steady staying busy when the trade game.
Coast to coast.
Like, if anybody makes moves, I know everybody has one in their league. You're the one in our league.
Yeah.
Cannot stand still. Who be at 3 a.m. making moves? I was at the
I'll be
bathroom break.
stalking y'all like, say, bro, come on, man. I know you don't like that guy. You're
be the
never
fir-
gonna use him. He
He'd be the
sucks.
first one to be awake when waivers clear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
I'm lying. All of us be.
Yeah. So.
I'll be asleep, and then this
Nah,
guy
I'll
would
be
tell
on-
me. This guy would tell me like, "Yeah, man, I was in a bathroom break, and I was like, I got my phone out, made these picks." I'm like, bro,
Hey.
I think you had a record for the most moves last year.
I like your
Always,
style, man.
every year.
I
every
like
year,
your
bro.
style.
Hey, if you're not traded, you're not trying.
Or you could just go the old school method and draft a good team that you like. from
You
the get-go.
could,
But there's
it
a lot of
just-
changes
There's
throughout
so
the
many
season.
changes throughout the league: suspensions,
Yeah.
injuries, people just dropping off. You never know, but
Too many changes also doesn't mean a good thing.
yeah, that's also
Yeah.
yeah.
That's
That
Uncle
says
Richard.
something about your team too. Yeah,
Not trying to throw no dirt, but
yeah. I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes you release a player before you should have, and
And
you
then-
regret it, and you see him on somebody else's
You get
team
too antsy.
wrecking. Yeah, you get too antsy. That's a fault of mine too.
you see one game without production, man,
Yeah.
and you get mad and you just let your feelings get in the way sometimes.
I had Jordan Howard like that last year before I released him, and
Thank
then
you.
next thing you
And then
know,
you went
later
off.
on, yeah, I gave him Manny and gave him
Thank you.
somewhat of a fight in the season, and yeah, that my season was
Send him a
shot.
check, Mandy. Send him a check.
Yeah,
We
but
still haven't covered the West.
the West.
We'll get back
side-
on track.
man.
Sorry. Hey, look, guys, we're excited. We're having a good morning, so we're going to be jumping all around, but we're going to cover everything we talked about. But we'll go back to the AFC West. That's a pretty good division, too.
Yeah, we forget
It's a
they
toss-up,
got
bro.
3 playoff teams over there: the Chiefs
I'm liking the
Raiders.
Raiders, man.
and then Broncos.
The Broncos, you can't count them out. They got
I'm
a
loving the Raiders.
beast, but I'm loving the Raiders right now,
Me
man.
too. Before Carr got hurt last year, they
were
looked like
going
they were going to do something, and I think this
Honestly,
year they're
without
gonna do the
his
same thing.
injury, I think they would have done
They
a
would have
lot,
gone
yeah,
a lot
a
further.
lot further. They
And then
would
they
have
got-
gave the Patriots a run for their money.
And they got Marshawn Lynch, who I just don't think he was happy in Seattle,
The-
and so I think that's maybe the reason why he retired and he came back. Man, I think he's gonna go off this year.
Their offensive line also is up there with Dallas and on par with Tennessee.
I mean, Carr
also,
was making
so.
deep threats all year long, and that's because they had time on the line. They're protecting him, and now they have a good running back, man.
Good wide receiver.
Amari
Good
Cooper.
receiver.
Amari
Man, you
Cooper,
see that
he-
catch last night between 3 defenders?
It was awesome.
Man,
He
you
caught
just throw it
high
up there,
in
boy.
traffic.
Just,
Yeah,
I'm
it
telling
was
you,
pretty
man.
awesome.
I think if the Raiders don't win it, they'll give someone a good run for their money in the division. The Broncos, the Chiefs are still pretty good. The Chargers, they got a good. Phillip Rivers carries that team a lot, but
Los Angeles Chargers. Now.
I'm sorry, the Los Angeles Chargers.
No more San Diego.
Oh,
I know it's gonna be hard for everybody.
They don't have to keep it classy
and it's
anymore.
so funny.
Yeah,
It's San Diego.
San
Hey,
Diego.
they don't have to keep it classy
No more
anymore.
stay classy.
Yeah,
San
the
Diego.
Chargers. Watch out for Keenan Allen too.
Keenan
What do you
Allen?
think? Are y'all gonna be drafting him? Is he on the bar?
His
No?
injury
He may
scared
be-
me.
He may be in the middle, late rounds. I mean,
I think so. I think he's gonna be sitting there
can't
longer
count him
than
out.
he should, and
He'll
I
be
would
a good-
definitely. What about Tyrell Williams?
he'll be a good sleeper. You know, who?
Tyrell Williams or
The number one last year after he went down.
Keenan Allen dropped. He became number one wide receiver though. He was somebody
He
that
put
was
up
on the
legit
waivers
numbers,
and
but-
was killing it last year, and I probably let him go as well before I should.
Yeah, with Phillip Rivers,
Thank you again.
Phillip Rivers there, man, you can throw it all around. And he's still a consistent quarterback. I mean, he's still top 20.
Melvin Gordon too.
Melvin Gordon's gonna be one of the ones that I'll probably end up getting in the late.
I slipped
No,
on
no,
Melvin
no,
Gordon
late,
last year.
late,
Okay.
late for. I'm at the end of the.
Oh,
pick.
yeah.
So I'm at the end of the first round. He may be available for me to take. I take him in the
should be
first
there.
round.
I slipped on
depending
Melvin
who's
Gordon last year. I read like 2 different insider articles before the draft that said that he was one of the ones that he was going to have a turnaround season, and he was there available where I wanted to draft him, and I took somebody else, and I paid the cost for it.
But you got to hearing it now on the sports cave. We're your insiders,
Right, now we got-
now
give
that
you your
that wouldn't have
insider
happened to you
information.
last year, but now we're gonna. If y'all
So-
win because of us, we want to participate in your trophy celebration.
So would y'all agree that AFC West is probably one of the most interesting divisions as
It
far
is.
as
It is.
competitiveness?
if
far as
not the
competitors-
most interesting
There-
division, I think.
I think they have an edge over the AFC North just because you have 3 dynamic teams that can go either way, or two for sure that can go. That they're one's gonna win the wild card, one's gonna win the
They're going to
division.
be at
We
least
haven't-
2 teams represented in the playoffs.
Yeah, I
And
think-
we haven't even talked about the Broncos yet either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their defense is still one of the best
Man,
in
that's
the league.
that's a defense that you can't. You hands down probably one of the best defenses they have.
Yeah.
And they don't look like they're gonna go anywhere. Next man up. They can plug and play.
They probably have one of the top outside linebackers in Von Miller, too.
Yeah.
That boy's a
That
beast,
boy-
bro.
There's a
Shout
big
out.
question mark, and I had an argument, shout out with my boy Vinny, about their quarterback situation. Like, Simeon, are you going with
Lynch.
Paxton Lynch?
Neither one of them has wowed me.
None of- yeah.
I still think they're.
I'm
they're
kind of
at
glad
a-
we didn't pick up Paxton Lynch last year. We were
Yeah,
all that
I'm
noise,
very glad we did it.
all that buzz, and we fell into a gym with Dak. But
Yeah, definitely.
Still of the draft,
I don't
baby.
know. Do you give Paxton Lynch the helms and let him take off?
I don't know, dude. He's big. He's got a nice arm. Simeon, to me, is more, you know what you're going to get. He's more
Yeah.
steady. He's not going to do anything wild, but at the same time, he's
I'd let him.
he's
run,
okay.
I would let him
He's
put
serviceable.
Paxton in and just see if they get like a Dak situation where they fell into something good. Not all your top draft quarterbacks are going to be, first year starters, and we just had the luck that we got Dak, and when Romo got hurt, didn't get hurt, and then he got put
They're
in.
going
But
to have to
Yeah.
figure it out because they're going to have to score to win. And without a good quarterback, they're going to stack the box, and they don't have a good running game to me either.
no.
Right.
I mean, last year their running game was horrible to me.
Yeah.
So your defense can stop everybody else, but at some point you got to put your kicker can't win the game for you putting all the points up.
And speaking of running games, Angel brought up a good point, and thank you for that. He's saying that Mixon would be good for dynasty leagues, and I think
Keeper
that's an
leagues.
excellent point. Hey, we don't do those. I have done those before. Carlos
Yeah.
tried to give us.
Don't be bringing that garbage on my page. bro.
Carlos came
This guy
at
didn't
us
wanna
with the
pay.
worst team you could ever imagine. I can't even remember that. Robert Griffin III was on the team.
Was on the
so
team.
Carlos comes at us in our league page and says, "Hey, does anybody
anybody
want to play Dynasty and join this team for like 50 or however many bucks or whatever?"
Bro, you
whatever.
couldn't fix that team in
You
2
couldn't pay me to
years.
take that
Yeah,
team.
bro, that was the worst ever. So be careful if you get in these dynasty leagues because that's something you got to take into consideration. If somebody just has a crappy team and doesn't want to come back, somebody's gonna get stuck with that team. So that's something you might want to think about before entering those type of leagues.
Yeah,
That's
those
why.
are different.
That's why I like just the regular leagues. Just start back over fresh next year. You go from worst to best, and
I think
you
there's a setting where you can keep maybe 1 or 2 players.
keeper
Keeper
leagues.
leagues, but man, I like to start all over because you
Yeah.
never know.
Yeah, fresh start each year, especially. I just don't even want to think about last year at all. So don't remind me and
Yeah.
make me have my same
Fresh
crappy
start.
team that I had last year.
That Will brings up a good point that you cannot count out the Chargers. I think that they do got a good chance. Their offense is strong. But the AFC West, I think, is going to be an interesting one to watch.
Rivers is a competitor, man. Every game, at the end of every game, no matter what they're losing, you can't count him out. He's got a fight that,
and that's kind of,
he's got a next level fight that
he might be one that you can steal late in the draft, the quarterback too, or for backup purposes.
He's always there.
It's good.
Yeah, for fantasy purposes, they stay behind in a lot of games,
and that's great for your.
That's the one thing they're going to do with that offense.
Blake Bortles put up numbers last year. Blake Bortles was like 6th in overall with the points because they're always behind. You got to
fantasy purposes. Blake Bortles was a star.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Just because they're always behind and always throwing the ball.
That's another thing to look out for is if you're getting a team that's going to be behind, your quarterback's going to put up numbers. They can't. They got to throw it. They got to get down the field. But good point, Will. Thank you for that. Yeah. I think we covered all the teams, right?
The AFC.
Yeah, I just kind of briefly mentioned I did the top 20 per position. The AFC running backs out of the top 20, I didn't do 25. I just stopped at 20. But out of the running backs, 14 of the 20 are from the AFC.
That's stacked.
Very
It's stacked. It's stacked.
Interesting during bias too.
Yeah, so you got Bell at Bell, and now they've got Shady at 2.
If he stays healthy.
And then you got Melvin Gordon, Howard, DeMarco, Jay Ajayi.
Howard's the NFC though.
Yeah, I was like, wait a minute.
Calm down.
Jordan Howard would be Chicago Bears.
Yeah, Marshawn Lynch, Fournette, Crowell, Gurley.
Isaiah Crowell, watch out, guys.
Danny Woodhead.
We talked about him. Yeah, Woodhead too. He's going to get some touches since Kenneth Dixon is out for the season. Also keep an eye out on the injuries. I definitely would be looking out for any injury news. I mean, I know some guys like Will Fuller out for the season, so that might help Braxton Lynch with the Texans. There are and Fournette is nursing his injury, as we stated earlier. So there's going to be other opportunities, different people opening up. With Cleveland Browns, that I also wanted to talk about Duke Johnson in PPR leagues. He's going to be he can catch, and they're stating they're going to put him out in the slot. So that's someone that you want to look out for also, because Crowell is going to be the round and pound guy, the third down type of guy, or first and second down type of guy, and goal line guy. But with those
Duke
third downs, Duke Johnson,
I think
he's fast.
I think he would have had a better, more interesting season had he had not gotten hurt with that concussion too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So he got off to a slow start because of that concussion, but he was an interesting player last year. Definitely this year, being 2 years in, is definitely one to look at. Even though the team, you kind of risk, with them being the type of team that they've been in the last couple of years, with them falling behind all the time. Also, you got to think about whether they're going to be running the ball as much too. So that's one thing to think about.
That's the only
drawback when getting a running back is teams like that fall back, are always behind or playing from behind. Are they going to be running the ball as much?
I know Crowell, when I had him last year, he starts off real strong, and then when he started getting down, he fizzles out. And like, come on, man, someone just give him the ball.
Yeah, I remember trying to trade you for him a few times, like throwing all kinds of offers at you, but he was beasting, especially early in the season.
He did good, yeah. Then he kind of fizzled out. It's just being on the Browns, man. You can't help that.
Yeah, that's true. The whole situation.
Speaking of talking a little bit about fantasy, you mentioned handcuffs earlier, and then we were talking about Zeke. Do you draft him or do you sit back because of the suspension?
I have the 3 and 5 pick. I'm not touching him at all. If I have a later pick, I know I would be thinking about it if I have 11 or 12 like you guys.
I'm in the end.
And let's just say I'm on the end, and if nobody picks him that first round, I might pick him. Let's say I have 11 at a 12-team draft. I might pick him and then swoop right in.
Yeah. That's the advantage of being at the end or the beginning. Well, the beginning, not so much in the first round, but you have the ability. When you're in the middle, it sucks. Everybody hates being in the middle because you have to wait each round.
I know that's.
But when you're at the ends, at the either end, you get a back-to-back. So see, I'm at the end. I don't think he'll be in our league. Zeke won't be, but if he is, I'm taking him, and I can go right back and pick up someone else.
Another running back.
Another running back that I know is at least one solid one, so that I can later on in the other rounds get someone that just fills in for those suspensions. But a lot of people are really questioning, are they going to take him or not? Because if the appeal draws out and they do this next year, he's going to be available the whole season. Yeah. So you're taking a gamble, and we don't know. And our draft is
you're taking a risk
our draft is next
way.
Friday, so we don't. You don't. It's kind of one of those things that
could be a 2-game suspension, and you could have the steal of the draft. You don't know.
I'm not much of a gambler.
And it could be an appeal that's going to take forever, and he's available to play.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's you just don't know. I would take him. I can't. I don't think someone valuable like that. You got to take him. That's just my opinion.
I'd just be scared because if it sticks 6 games plus a bye week, that's.
Yeah, let us know how it goes. Let's say none of us take him. I mean, post-draft, of course, we're going to say how our draft came out. If none of us have him, if you're out there and you drafted him, let us know who you got next and show us how your team looks, because I want to see how it goes. I'm going to be looking out for the guys who do draft him and see how they do and how they go about their approach the rest of the draft.
If he's there for me, I'm going to pick him up. I mean, I don't think he will be, but hearing you guys not want to do it makes me a little happier.
That's good. Yeah. We're trying to give too much inside information because we do have to use this against each other. But at the same time, we want everybody to know, what's going on.
We'll be watching this over and over.
Going on.
Trying to get some hints.
What did he say? Who did he say?
Is it again?
Yeah. Right.
Don't believe everything I tell you. I might be trying to do the shake and bake on you. I said I don't believe everything.
You never know. Yeah, bro.
I know. In our league, we don't do as many trades. I know there has been some good trades in the years, but we want to get you guys' feedback on trades. There's some leagues that everybody trades.
I'm willing and dealing. I don't care.
I think some of our guys in our league are just, I'm gonna really hunker down when I do a trade. It takes a lot for me to be like, all right, I'll take.
I had a good trade with Big Lex last year from our league.
Lex won't trade with me anymore because of the Sean Jackson trade that I got a few years. I was at the fair. He went off for like 40 points, and he's like, after that, I don't think he wants to trade. But I think we have some guys that do like to trade. He would trade, but I had some offers last year for Le'Veon Bell, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna get rid of him for. There were some good offers, but I'm one of the guys that I like to stick with my team. I do sit on players a lot. Whether that's not always a good thing, but I don't really do too many moves. I kind of let them see. I tinker so much with my lineup. You can ask my wife before like church or before anything. I'm sitting there like, hold on, before I go in, like, do I want to keep him in? Do I not? I do a lot of tinkering right before, and it's just.
Yeah, sometimes.
But I can't make that many moves.
Sometimes you gotta be careful because you double guess yourself, and then you're just like, oh man.
And then you go back and like, why?
Study long, study wrong.
Yeah, and we're gonna be here during the season. We're gonna be here in the show, so it's gonna be different. We're not gonna be parked in front of our TVs as much as we would, so we're not gonna have as much time to be making those type of decisions, those type of moves, and we're gonna be getting information from everybody. Hopefully, y'all are gonna be chiming in.
We want to try to bring y'all some live feed from our draft too.
Definitely, we're gonna try to have an interactive show before the games every week.
That's the reason why we
incorporate everything. This is the main point. This is the bread and butter of all
this.
We
do appreciate everybody tuning in and chatting with us too.
Yeah, it's a great turnout today, guys. And don't forget, you want to be live with us on the air, you can give us a call.
Don't be scared.
Don't be scared to call in. We're waiting for a caller. Y'all, I know it's early. Y'all probably had a little too much to drink last night.
We like everybody's input. We like to hear from everybody. This is a show that's brought to you by sports fans for sports fans. We're all sports fans. We're not experts. We just like to give our opinion, like to talk sports all the time. So we decided to do this. But it only works with our fans as well. So if y'all like the show, y'all want to tune in, make sure y'all chat with us live like the people that have been this morning, or call in. We do have the ability to accept calls. Just make sure when you call, it will be a moment where you put on hold while we get ready to take the call and talk to you on the air.
Don't be scared. We want to hear your voice, but definitely we appreciate you guys tuning in. There's a lot of great points. Did you guys watch any other games this week?
I watched a couple of the games. I didn't get to watch as much as I wanted to just due to a busy week, but there were some different games that stood out. I know.
I watched a bit of that Seattle game.
Yeah,
that was a good game.
Seattle's looking real good. Russell Wilson's on point. Him and Doug Baldwin are on point. Their defenses look good in both games that I've seen them play. So that's definitely been good. I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's anybody else that really stood out that I've seen.
I didn't catch a lot of games, but I did catch a lot of the highlights, some of the top plays. There were some good rookies that are starting to stand out now. I watched some of the Houston highlights. Like I said, I watched Savage. He looked good. Watson, he ran a touchdown in, which was good, but passing-wise, he didn't look great to me. I didn't really get to catch any of the other games. I was out and about, like Adolph said, too, but I'm going to catch up on some of them again today and see. There's some more games actually scheduled today, too.
There's two today.
Yeah, I want to watch some football. There's some football on today, too, and all you fantasy guys.
I'm sorry. From what I've heard and from what I've seen as well, McCaffrey is doing good. He's a beast, and we told you about him. He's one of my – I've been high on him, keep it on the D-Lo for all your
we know where he's
too.
doing.
But, yeah.
Scoop and trade.
Catch people, and he's 3 down back. So he's definitely somebody.
So if you're in our league, you can get him and trade.
Yeah, Sammy Watkins made his debut. Would y'all even consider him in LA?
I'm done with him.
I think I'd give him a chance.
Hey, Goff's not looking too bad. He's spreading the ball around. There's Cooper Kupp over there that's doing well. He might be a sleeper receiver to watch out for. He's making some plays. So as a late guy,
them in general would be sleepers.
When you want to add depth, especially for the bye weeks later on, that's somebody you might want to consider. So, Sammy Watkins, I'll never touch. A lot of injury-prone players, which I've been meaning to bring up. those are guys that I would never touch. Let's just say if Ryan Matthews gets picked up somewhere, I would try to go after him. There's a lot of those type of players.
Been burned one too many times.
It'd be one of those late picks where you're trying to fill in, but someone's in our league. We're 12 deep. I don't know how everyone else's leagues is, but we're 12 deep, and we had to actually go in and remove a bench spot just because people sat on they would sit on players, and we needed players available to make it even. And we did that last year, the year before last, and it was actually really competitive. If you guys are trying to make your leagues a little more competitive, that's an option you have.
Yeah, in my personal league, we just went up to 12 players, and I know it's fixing to get pretty interesting because at 10 players it's interesting, but everybody can be stacked up to a certain point. With 12 teams, you really got to be out there, scrumming through the free agents, doing your homework, making sure you're paying attention to who's hot every week, and you really can't just gun it.
The first year we expanded to 12. Oilo, expanded to 12. Like we're
calm down.
Cálmate. It was definitely an eye opener for everyone else. I know it was for me, but having those extra, rounds that everybody drafted, 12 people, 2 extra, It was a lot of homework, a lot of like, all right, you're digging deep in the trenches, like who's available, who's not available, is it even worth it to pick up, and your bye week's playing, so it's definitely different. I know I play in a 10 man league, and it's definitely a lot different. Man, it's less stressful than ours.
I sure wish it was NFL season start today, man.
I know, I'm ready, man. I am ready. It's a different dynamic in the fall, man. We look forward to it.
Yelling at the TV for a couple hours. Red zone it on the couch.
Recapping, the Jets still suck. If y'all wanted to know, if Jacob, if you're listening, the Jets still suck. Hackenberg looked terrible. He had a almost butt fumble-esque. He just needed the butt. He didn't have the butt part, but he had the fumble part down, so he's looking terrible. Jacob's always hating on the Cowboys, so I said, how about Wackenberg over there? Because he's terrible.
Jets been out of fuel for a while.
In trouble. So
he was throwing an Ant-Man, bro. He was throwing an Ant-Man. Y'all didn't see him in a uniform.
Yeah, I feel sorry for you guys.
I don't even know how you became a Jets fan.
Yeah, he's going to explain that one day, he says.
That's another interesting fact. We want to get your guys' feedback. If you have a good story of why you follow a team or why you like them, we want to know. I'm a homer. All my teams are from Texas, but...
my guess is for Jacob is that a Brady Bunch episode with John...
that might have been in the Canary episode.
With Joe Namath.
Hollywood
fell in love with him.
I have a brother-in-law who's a morning Jeff. He's a Dolphins fan, and he's from Montana, but it was Marino. I mean, he's got an autographed Marino.
I'm a Marino fan.
And that's why he was a Dolphins fan.
He had me watching the Dolphins. I did, for a while follow the Dolphins more than I followed the Cowboys, but Marino was just one of those players that made people just want to be a fan of him and his team.
Because I know we meet people
awesome.
we meet people and they're like, who's your
never win a Super Bowl?
Who's your favorite team and why? Like I always ask them why. I always assume I've met friends that live in other parts of the country, and I've always, you're from Ohio. You like who's your team? The Bengals or the Browns? They're like, the Steelers. Like, why?
That's the best part of going in on a Monday morning after football season. To dog whoever their team got kicked. Yeah, they get their butts kicked. I'm talking crap to people in the preseason like, hey man, your Chargers look terrible. After that first week, just terrible. Right after the first week, like he's like, dude, it's just preseason. I'm like, yeah, but they still look horrible. Like every player that played looked terrible.
That's how the people that hate the Cowboys.
Might not have been the starters, but your scrubs suck too.
That's how the people that hate the Cowboys are. If we play a preseason game and we lose, y'all suck and this and that, and we win, it's just preseason.
I do got to give the Cowboy haters some ups and some daps because they come up with the funniest memes before the game's even over. I'm like, man, y'all are creative. Why don't y'all spend that much time on your team and research your team?
I follow this trash talk page on Facebook, and this guy he swears he's a Redskins fan, but you'll never catch him talking about the Redskins.
He
talks more crap about the Cowboys all day than he ever does talk about what his team is doing. I don't even know if it's anything about his team because he never posts about it.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
Man, we got some.
I probably know more than he does.
I think we're getting everybody's spirits up. We got some action going on about the college teams. We got a shout out for
football coming up,
the Hook'em Horns, for TCU, UNT. I don't know what y'all's hand sign is.
We do have a request from the wife. She wants to talk about college football and what's the buzz with Atlanta being the capital of college football week. Atlanta's being the capital. You have to explain to me on that. But
yeah, let's
maybe
not
because they
go
got a
to
new
points unless
stadium.
we know what we're
They
talking
got a
about.
new stadium, maybe.
Oh,
that's what they're talking
I know
about.
what she's talking about. She's
Yeah.
talking about Chick-fil-A. Let's get down to the real issues.
The real issues that
Why
we're
would you
here.
put a Chick-fil-A
Not only are we the
in a
Sportscape, but we're
NFL
also
stadium?
Chubb Club, and I'm highly upset that they're going to have a Chick-fil-A at the new Mercedes Stadium in Atlanta, but it's going to be closed except for one game.
One game this season.
One game
of the
Okay,
season
will
okay,
go
okay.
Sun-
Yeah. Because one important day, minor detail.
Yeah,
when is Chick-fil-A closed?
Sundays.
When do the Falcons play?
Sundays.
Whoa, my mind is blown. Like I don't know how that was.
Who's the
approved.
marketing genius behind that
Yeah,
one?
someone's getting
Well,
fired.
they do have like concerts and college games, high school
Yeah,
games.
Yeah,
they have
but
stuff,
man,
but
It
come
ain't
on,
the
bro.
NFL.
It
though.
ain't the NFL.
Come on, bro.
Sunday.
Let's say you go to a Falcons game. You're walking along, nachos, hamburger, hot dog, whatever,
Chick-fil-A.
whatever. You see Chick-fil-A, you can be like, dang, bro. Like, really? Like, I can't eat this today?
That's torture.
Yes. It's
That's
just
like
a
me
tease.
driving by a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday. And
That
can't
would make
even
me just
stop.
not want to go to the
I
game.
won't even bust out an analogy because I'm going to get myself in trouble. But you just do not want
But yeah, that's
not good for business
But
at
I
all.
believe they'll be having anytime they have a new stadium out, they'll either have a playoff game or the championship game there, and that stadium is looking really nice.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Georgia Dome has only been out for like 20 years, so they're already getting a new stadium. But it's on and popping in Atlanta. Anybody that's been, I've never been, but from what I've heard, it's on.
I've
and
seen
popping
the
out there.
videos of the stadium, and it's
a
looking nice.
big
nice
city,
stadium.
big international city, and they got a nice fan base for the Braves, for their hockey team, the Thrashers, for the Falcons. So
Yeah.
and the college, it's awesome. It's awesome atmosphere, and they always tend to go there for the bowl season as well. But to touch on college. Will brought up UNT. I'm gonna try to go to that UNT SMU game. So give me a holler if you want to go, or it's gonna be at UNT. I always try to go to SMU games as much as possible, at least once or twice a year. Got a nice little hookup over there.
And it's local,
fun.
man. It's
Yeah,
just down the
local.
street. Guys, go support your local teams.
Dallas team. You have an NCAA Division I football team here. More people need to get out there. The tickets aren't bad. If you really want to go, we can make it happen. We can
We'll
we
work
can make it
something out.
happen. I
We can go
promise
as
you.
a group.
I've gotten free tickets for different people before, and we've made it happen. We should go. TCU is playing SMU at TCU. That's another game that
That's a
I'm
local game
trying
to
to
go
go
to.
to. Yeah, bro, it's awesome.
y'all- if y'all haven't been out to us-
if you haven't been to TCU Stadium, they do it right. They incorporate the whole family. The kids are running on the field before the game. It's pretty awesome. You get like a high school feel because you have to take buses to get to their stadium, and it's like a whole community deal. So it's awesome. UT is also another team that has been brought up, and they got a lot of pressure going on them this year.
Right.
We'll see what Shane Buechele can do.
I think they'll be okay. I think they'll make some buzz. I don't think they're going to be at the height of they were before.
They're in
last
the
couple
top
years,
25.
but they gotta
the
stay up
coaches' top
there.
20. Yeah,
They
they're
gotta
in the
stay up
late
there.
20s. Yeah, that's a big thing. They've been in there almost every year, too.
They're going to
so-
get up there
I want to
just
see a
because it's
turnaround
Texas.
for my team, Notre Dame Irish, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been tough the last couple of years to watch them, but I'm still a fan. Grew up a Notre Dame fan. I mean, they're on TV every Saturday. Every Saturday, all their games are televised. So it's tough to not have them be a successful team. I think it's good for college football when Notre Dame is doing good too.
That's
but
true.
they've lost a lot of good players. They lost their quarterback. You know, Kaiser now is over there in Cleveland. We'll see how they do this year. Hopefully they get turn it around and win some more games this year. We'll see how the coach. I don't know. He's on a hot seat too. So.
Definitely. That's a high-profile team. They should be doing better than they're doing. Last year was embarrassing. Like, losing to Navy, like,
Yeah.
you can't do that.
You can't
As
lose
Notre
to
Dame,
Navy,
you
man.
cannot lose to Navy. Like, that's embarrassing. That's on new low. So he better step it up.
And for me
Kelly.
personally, there's a lot of different college teams, and that one, I'm a homer, but that one there's a lot of different times you can have different teams that you like and support because there is a lot, man. There's a lot of
There's
teams.
so many teams.
There's so many teams you can't just like. I mean, you can like one, but that's
Yeah.
I give a pass if
Like-
you're not from where school you support from.
Yeah, I mean, I like Ohio State too. There's a team that you always have to watch out for with their coach and their recruits. They always have dynamic players. They go for athletes, and a lot of these games are changing. I mean, a lot of these teams in general, all in sports, are looking for players that can do different things, that are versatile.
Yeah, the game has changed. You got to be very athletic, be versatile.
Yeah.
You got to be very agile. So, I mean, it's very interesting now. I mean, a lot of these young players in high school now, if you go catch high school games, man, they're running pro-style offenses.
Right.
Especially here in Texas, man. It's the
Right.
king of
Speaking of high school football, shout out to my homeboy Frankie Sandoval, he got the head coaching position at Mejia High School here.
Wow.
in
There you go.
Texas.
Congratulations.
That's
man.
awesome. Where's Mejia?
It's south. It's south on. I don't know exactly. I know it's kind of like past Ennis and stuff. It's south of us.
Cool.
But he was a defensive coach at Cedar Hill when they won the state championship, and now he's moved up to the head coach position. So shout out to him. Doing a lot of representing for the Latino community and
Awesome, bro.
representing for his family. So that's great to have people like that in our community and stuff like
So
that.
Mejia, we got our help assistants here. Mejia is east of College Station, so it's
Okay, so
buzz
it's down
right-
there by the Houston area.
It's a buzz out there.
That's awesome. Football is big out there. Also, shout out to Dylan. He's going to be playing for the Halton Buffaloes. I'm going to be out there on Friday nights. I know they play Sunset. That's my mom's alma mater. That should be an easy win, as we were joking. Yeah, we'll be on
Sunset
the watch
has a
out.
football
Keep my
team?
head on a swivel. They still happen to have a football team, miraculously. But they do have a team, so we're going to be out there on Fridays, and I'm going to try to go to some Garland games as well. There's nothing like the Garland, South Garland. I don't even know if they still play anymore. I doubt it.
I don't think they do anymore.
Yeah, so those type of rivalries, but we definitely want to go to a couple games, and we'll try to get some
Yeah,
pictures.
shout
and
out to
keep
the
them on our
Eagles.
sites.
We got some NFL player making buzz.
The Rowlett Eagles.
Eagles are. It wasn't like that when I was there. It was we focused more like on baseball and the girls sports because that's what we dominated on. Our football team. The first year they didn't have any seniors. I was there when they first opened, and it wasn't. I went to more South Garland football games than I went to Rowlett games.
Yeah,
if
we
that
had a
makes
good
sense.
band.
We had a band, and we got it
State
crunk out
champs
there.
99, Garland
sense.
High School, baby.
And this one went to Garland. We're not even gonna mention them.
Yeah, no, I mean, if he says state champs, you do have to
You gotta
give some
respect.
credit
We
where
got
credit's
our
due.
boy Ronnie. He was
A
on the
lot-
team.
yeah.
Oh yeah, he was on the actual
That was
team.
the 2000.
Ronnie, we wanted you to come on the show.
Garland
Explain
House.
your glory days.
Yeah, I was a junior that played middle school ball with these guys that played in high school. I didn't get a chance to go to Garland High School. I went to South Garland. Due to my dad making me basically
You were made to
going
go.
to South Garland, but I knew my boys would be good. But they won the state
you're
championship,
saying you
so
could've
we
been a
got some
contender.
experts around here. I could have been a contender. I should have held down that defensive end spot. Ronnie knows
Calm
it.
down.
A lot of people know it.
Get
It's
off
all
the gas
good
a
though. I
little
had to
bit.
do some other stuff.
Now, y'all
but-
have a high school game y'all want to check us out or want us to come and cover
Support
for
you
y'all?
guys. Yeah, we'll go.
I mean, we'll cover it. We'll go. I mean, I ain't tripping. Friday night football is
That's
one of
what it's
my
all
favorite
about.
days. You know what I
It's
mean?
king out here, and especially on
Football
Friday
is
nights.
king in
I
Texas.
don't do much, so I'm definitely.
You
looking
guys
forward
call
to
in. You guys are harping on these lines on the chat line. Support your school. Call in and show your support. Even if you just want to say hook them or do anything, give us a call. The lines are open. I do have. My wife must be researching because she's coming out with some strong topics. Girl, what you doing over there?
She
She
must
said.
be up early
She said
on her
that the
trip.
opening weekend for football is Alabama against Florida State. So that's gonna be
a barn
it's gonna-
burner right there,
That's
boy.
gonna be a good game to start it off. But it's a Saturday game.
Roll Tide. Is that here?
I don't know where it's at.
A lot of times,
They use them at a neutral site.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll have the opening here
big
over
stadium.
at Jerry World. But yeah, Bama is always a team. I mean, they're given. You know, they're going to be in the top 5 every
Hey,
year.
hey,
They
hey,
always
hey,
have
hey,
the
hey.
best defense. They always have
Best
big
coach in
dudes. I mean, they look
college
like
history.
an
Them
NFL
boys
team.
are big, yeah.
When you watch them, they look like an NFL team straight up. Like just their size
And then
compared
their
to other
coach,
teams.
man, Nick Saban.
Nick
boy.
Saban's
Woo, legend.
one of the goats, if not the goat.
So, yeah, he's up there. That's gonna be a good game to watch. I used to rock a little Florida State back in middle school days.
I like
my
them
starter
too.
jacket. They're a good team.
They're dynamic. They lost some good players. Also, they always have athletes. So I mean, Florida would
be-
known,
I think they're known for
especially in the
football.
skill position. Yeah, Florida and Texas, they're neck and neck with producing top players in college and the NFL.
I think we breed a lot of quarterbacks here in Texas.
Yeah, we definitely do.
And I think Florida has, like you said, a lot of position players that come out of there.
Yeah, at running backs like crazy in the NFL. They're all over the NFL. So
Thank you for pointing that
that's
out.
gonna be an
Priscilla.
awesome game. I can't wait.
That's gonna be a good game.
College is around the corner too. So
College is a different ball game than the NFL. But I think those games are really good. Those games are always someone, the kids are giving their all. They're trying to make a spot. They're trying to show that the NFL teams that, hey, I can play.
Yeah.
And they just give it their all.
There's no room for error in college football. You lose one game, you're done, or you lose 2 games, you're really done. So everything
win
is on
counts.
the line.
Every
Every
win.
win is on the count. In their overtime, they do it right.
I think
To
they do
me,
their overtime right.
To me, compared to the NFL, so it's exciting to see, and you never know what you're gonna get in those games.
What do you guys think of the whole, championship selection, how they do it compared to the
The
playoff system?
I think it's more exciting.
Yeah.
I think it gives more teams a better chance of winning the championship. it gives you a chance that even if you lose one game, you might still have a chance to get the championship. So before, it used to be like where you lost the game, sometimes you might not even have that chance just because of that one loss. And it's not fair to some conferences where they have, like the SEC, where it's so tough that one loss can happen to even the best team, because the competitiveness is so deep in those type of conferences. I think the playoff now that they have, I think should be expanded a little bit more to include more teams to make it more interesting and make people watch more towards the end of the season.
I like that. Maybe a final 8.
Yeah, I think they need to expand it. They still got, to me, the last year, I still had the feel that there's still a selection like it was like it was before.
Mm-hmm. Every
kind
year.
of had that feeling. They needed, I would say, expand it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because any given week you don't know what's going to happen, and you're limiting good teams.
That's true, and you have that whole time from December through January where the bowl season takes forever, and you got all these meaningless bowls. So I think they could work that out within that time frame.
No bowl is meaningless, bro.
Well, there's some Sepa la Madre bowl and this and that. Like, okay, who's really sponsoring this?
And everybody that's
we got the Fiesta, Elote Man bowl.
And everyone is tuning in. If you're not a football fan, bring up sports that you want us to cover or that you want to talk about as well too. I know we've been dominantly talking about football today,
but it
is football season, so we are going to cover a lot of football, but we also cover a lot of other sports.
You know what? We didn't even talk about the Rangers.
The Rangers
never
ever quit.
Never quit. They're we were talking about this before the show, and it wasn't really going to be big topic, but we see the buzz going on. These guys just destroyed the White Sox last night. And shout out to the Dutch Oven. Respect
Derek
to you,
Collins,
Derek
yes.
Collins.
Much respect.
We do miss you. We're sad to see you go, but we definitely love the respect that you have for your fans here.
Yeah, he put thank you on the mound. I've never seen anybody do that. I've never heard of anybody doing that. That's pretty awesome. You have that platform. Everybody's watching you as a pitcher. And he made sure that he did that.
He thanked you.
Yeah,
thanked everybody here.
Time. He was definitely a fan favorite.
Yeah.
He wasn't the most consistent pitcher.
I never met him, but I had a cousin of mine. He was good friends with him. He used to play poker with him. He said, man, that's a very down-to-earth dude. So
yeah, I'd hear him on the radio shows all the time, and you could tell he had a lot of fun and enjoying doing what he did. I mean, who wouldn't? You get to be a professional player. You get to play professional ball. Enjoy it.
Get paid for it.
Yeah, he gets a lot of slack for it, but if you're in that position, you work your whole life for it, you deserve to be able to let loose a little bit. I know he got a lot of crap for that around here, but he might have did a little too much when he was younger and wasn't producing. I know in the playoffs he didn't produce as much as they thought or as we wanted him to, but he's still a good player. He'll still be remembered.
The Rangers been hot though.
The Rangers are hot.
Oh, man.
1.5 back from the wild card spot. We're not going to win the division. They're 14.5 games back.
Right.
But they're climbing their way up there for the wild card.
8-2 in the last 10, and them, the Dodgers, and the Indians are the hottest teams in baseball.
And that's
all
how
at
it is
8
in baseball. In baseball, it's who's hot at the end of the year. When you string these wins together and you're going into the playoffs hot, the wild card win can carry you over. You just can't be stopped. It's very streaky in baseball. That's the beauty of the game. I know a lot of people are tuned off at this time of the year because football's coming into play, but that's a beautiful sport, man. That's the first sport I learned. I definitely love this time of year when all the it's all competitive and your wins and losses and your streaks start to take to effect. But we're 1.5 game back from the wild card spot, and I think the Angels are tied with Minnesota for that second spot, and then we're just right behind them. Everyone else is like a half a game or a game and a half back.
Yeah, we're within 5 and 2 go to the wild card, so we're definitely in it. We got some games coming up with the Angels coming up soon, so we can gain some ground.
That's going to definitely help us gain some ground.
And shout out to Napoli yesterday afternoon. We were able to see Napoli. I know in the show we have his jersey behind us. We were able to get a jersey and some photos signed. It was pretty cool to get to meet him.
He was at the T-Mobile in Irving yesterday, so we got to go over there. It was right down the street from our house. And he was basically signing. They said one autograph, but he was signing whatever you put out there. He signed a photo and a bat for me. He signed like 3 items for me.
What did you ask him to write down there for you?
Party at Napoli's, baby.
And he did
awesome.
it.
He did it. Awesome dude, man. I told him that. He just kind of laughed. He said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
I actually told him that I had a bobblehead.
Gang.
I had a bobblehead trade in place for his bobblehead, and I was regretting that I didn't have it there with him. And I also brought up that the Rangers should allow him or should have some type of bobblehead, considering many times he's been here, and he was only in Boston for a short time. But he has a bobblehead, and that's one thing that I was hoping to get signed. sign. He kind of laughed and was thrown off. And some
It's the
people
real
say it's
news,
because I was
bobblehead game.
Yeah, some people were saying this because I was wearing the Dodgers hat over there. And he was looking at my hat, but he was looking at me funny, but he was laughing at the same time. Like, this dude is a nerd straight up. And
So the Dodgers hats for the
it's for sports game. It's got more meaning.
If y'all follow our page, or if y'all follow our page, we try to share whenever there's any players that we like or that are part of the area team. When they're signing here, we try to share it on our page so y'all are aware and y'all can get.
These guys posted it as soon as it happened. They found out. So you guys follow the page at SportsCave on Facebook, Instagram. It was listed on there.
Definitely, one of my buddies let me know about that on Friday night about the signing. So that and I met him through the SportsCave. So everything is working and falling into place, and we got to kick it with him. Shout out to my boy Ricky and some of his friends, and they had some nice stuff to get autographed and gave us some ideas on what to do to step our autograph game
and
up.
Everybody that shares the SportsCave page on Facebook, whoever shares it, we do have a Jalen Smith autograph poster I'm going to be giving away. So make sure y'all share it starting today. If y'all tuned into the show, y'all got to hit start because I'm just now announcing it. We do have a Jalen Smith poster. It is autograph. It's a 16x20 poster. I'll put a picture on it after the show when I get home. It's going to be a free giveaway. Anybody that shares the page, make sure that y'all tag us and make sure you let us know that y'all shared it. And I'm going to take everybody's name down and do a giveaway for everybody that shares the page. I might even throw in a second prize, but I don't know yet. That you have to stay tuned for next week.
They'll be surprised. So now, get to the nitty-gritty. What's happening? That's going to be our new segment, the What's happening?
Just let it out. What's happening?
Say it with us. What's happening?
What's happening?
What's happening, man? So, this is how you're going to get introduced to what's going on coming up this week.
Or that just happened.
Or anything.
Last night, if y'all don't keep up with boxing, y'all know I'm the boxing guy. I love boxing. Last night there was a fight on ESPN, free. One of the best pound-for-pound fighters. We had Bud Crawford, or Terrence Bud Crawford is what they call him, from Omaha, Nebraska. He put on the show last night. Killed it in 3 rounds. Body shot. The dude he was fighting was a good fighter. He was undefeated. It was a fight to unify all the belts. He is the first fighter at his weight division to unify all the belts. Is undisputed champion right now. First time in 10 years. Yeah. And that dude right now is one of the top pound for pound fighters there is. Yep. American fighter. He did say at the end of the fight that he is considering moving up in weight, which I would like to see, because moving on up in weight, it's going to also bring up a lot more challenges to him. Because right now in that division, that guy that he beat was one of the top contenders. He had a belt too. It wasn't just a pushover, but he was just outclassed. Terrence Crawford is a legit boxer. Like he doesn't have any wasted punches. He was punching at a little bit over 55% last night. So great fight. Y'all don't forget the McGregor and Mayweather fights coming up next week.
Yeah.
So y'all be ready for that.
We'll definitely be talking about that.
To touch on Crawford, they gave him the Ring Magazine Fighter of the Year, Fighter of the Time right now belt as well. So he had his 4 belts and that belt. He was all blinged out. It was awesome to see. If you haven't seen it, I would definitely just recommend just looking at it just for that, just to see all those belts on display. It's pretty awesome. And like Manny said, he's going to move up from 140 to possibly to 147. They're talking Keith Thurman next. Can you imagine him fighting the likes of Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia, Sean Porter? That whole division is stacked.
Speaking of Danny Garcia, man, he's been kind of ghost.
Yeah,
since his loss, man. He couldn't handle the loss. I don't know.
Yeah, he's been quiet, dude. So
if you want to see a clean knockout, Maha Alvarado last night had man. He put this dude to sleep.
He did.
I'm talking about he still got to. I mean, he's still fighting.
Punch. Yeah, it was
Mike
nice.
Alvarado, I'm not a big fan of him. He's been a great boxer too. I'm just not a big fan of him. But man, that knockout last night, I respect that, boy.
I don't know if you remember Paulie Ayala. He kind of reminds me of a Paulie Ayala. Just to look at him, gritty. Looks like he might have been locked up for a little while or something. Like just that type of dude that you don't want to mess with ever. Yeah, he knocked that guy out pretty. I never really seen him fight, but I saw him. I was like, yeah, that dude looks pretty tough. And they're saying he's making moves as well. Our draft is coming up on Friday.
Our draft is going to be Friday. We got it set for about 8:30. You guys are more than welcome to join us. So
We'll be at Old Chicago Pizza, Mockingbird Station.
Mockingbird Station. You can make us feel bad about our picks if you want. To
Or
heckle
about
us.
how much pizza we eat.
Or how much pizza. Well,
We
won't
might
get
even
in-
have a pizza eating contest. Who
This
knows?
might be the smallest amount of pizza consumed during the buffet, just due to everybody being
I
in
doubt
there.
it.
I doubt it. You
doubt
talking about
yeah.
the chubsters, man.
You're talking about the
We'll
fools like
see.
Chub Life.
Like-
I wonder what the over/under is on pizza slices.
over under pizza
eaten.
slices. I'm gonna go total or per person.
Total times 10, 11.
Man, I'm gonna say.
I know. Inside source said the manager ordered some extra pizzas for that night.
I let them know, hey man, we're some big dudes.
I'm talking like 50, 60 pieces at least, right?
I think probably.
Pieces or pieces?
Pieces. Yeah, I don't know about
I
pieces.
know, I know,
man.
I know.
No,
No
these are
telling,
these,
bro.
these are these deep dishes that
There are
fill
some
you up.
good
But
pizza though. Yeah,
if you guys wanna go out,
that
yeah,
deep dish may slow
we
us down
talking like we gonna tear it up. We gonna go in there and get defeated by the pizza.
we're not. We're gonna go out victorious.
right in the face, right in the
But
kisser.
we'll be there 8:00. We'll try to get some footage for you guys. You more than welcome to show up, make it party, make you know. Like I said, you can heckle us. We're gonna heckle each other pretty well, but you know, you see how we do our draft. We want to definitely engage with you guys. I know there's some football on later on today. New Orleans against the Chargers at 7, and then Monday night there's the Giants in Cleveland, which.
Yeah,
There's no
I mean, I'm
point in
interested to
watching
see
that,
the
but-
Giants. You always
The
have to
Gi-
watch the
we wanna
division
watch the
opponents.
division
Yeah, I like to
Let
scout
them
the
know what's
division.
up. Yeah, definitely.
But are they gonna have anything? I mean, are you really gonna see anything when they play against
I
Cleveland?
want to see Ingram, Evan Ingram
Oh,
on the
yeah.
field. I want to see what he does and how he fits
I
into
want to see
their
Myles
offense.
Garrett.
And
Honestly,
Sterling Shepard
I want to see
goes,
how
oh,
Myles
yeah.
Garrett does, and then Jabril Peppers too, man. He's one of those players that can play
Special.
so many things. He's special, man. I would have liked to see him with the Cowboys. I do like the Cowboys picks, but I mean that's something to watch.
They
I
coulda
guess
used
it's
him.
worth watching.
Yeah, speaking of Cowboys picks, did y'all get to see any of Watt playing?
T.J. Watt.
TJ Watt playing?
Man, he's
yeah.
been killing it,
When I
man.
see him, I'm looking at him getting sacks and thinking, damn,
Yep.
we got Taco.
We
But
got-
And
we'll
Taco
see.
didn't make.
Taco's doing, yeah, he didn't do much yesterday.
He wasn't very impressive. He's making some improvements, but we could have had TJ just coming off the blocks.
Man, yeah, I see regret when I watch him. I don't know if y'all watch players like that, but I do.
I do that all the time.
Right?
What could have been.
When you see a highlight reel of
Like
just
the Greek
him,
freak with the Mavs, yeah.
when you see
definitely.
a highlight reel of just him in preseason, then you start kind of like,
Yeah, and speaking the Mavs real quick, I've had a couple people ask me about the New Orleans Newell situation. Are we frustrated? Yeah, I think I'm frustrated
I'm
about
frustrated. Sign him.
sign him.
Yeah, sign him already. I know that
It's bad
there's
enough
really
we don't
not a
have
market.
people that want to sign here, and he's
Yeah,
already here.
We're not
Just
doing
sign him.
anything else, really, though.
I mean,
What
what
are
other
we-
big man out there that's willing to sign here that's out there that can at least give us a solid center position like he does. So I don't know.
what it is. That nobody wants to come here for some
Yeah.
reason. I think we have a great owner who's willing to do what it takes.
And we have one of the greatest
Yeah,
coaches.
Some people are getting frustrated with that great owner, though. Like
Yeah.
they're just saying he's not making the moves, or he might be doing
He's too
Shark
focused on
Tank, or he
everything
might be
else.
doing all these different shows and different politics, different stuff like that. So I don't know. We'll see. Donnie Nelson's always gotten a pass here, I guess, because he got a championship in 2011. But we need to do better about getting players in.
We can get a new GM.
It's called Mark.
Come on. Hey, Mark. You
Right?
heard it.
I got his personal line.
This guy.
I'm lying.
Anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
I think that about wraps it up.
About
for
that wraps
today.
it up. Thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate
everybody
the
that got
love.
up and
Thank you
showed
so
us
much.
love this morning. Like I said, make sure y'all share the page. Make sure y'all let us know that y'all shared it so that we can get your name down. It is going to be a 16 by 20 Jalen Smith photo. It is autographed with a certificate of authenticity. So make sure y'all share that and stay tuned for more giveaways.
Don't forget to like the video. Once it's up, you make sure you like, share, subscribe. Hashtag champs.tv, DaSportzCave. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
We're all over
Share
the
the page,
place.
guys.
Give
We're
us
really,
your feedback. I appreciate it. I got some from Will the other day from different friends. Some's positive, some's like, hey, maybe y'all should do this, or maybe you should try this or try that. But we're definitely open to everything. constructive.
We definitely take constructive criticism. We won't take it in any offensive manner. We want y'all to let us know what y'all want us to talk about. What we are doing that y'all like, or what we're doing that y'all don't like. Just make sure you bring it up to us, because that's what makes the show is by fans for fans. So we like input. We like to improve. We like to get better, just like in sports. We like to be the best at what we do. So
with that, again, subscribe to the page. Hashtag champs.tv, DaSportzCave. We're on all social media. I'm Juice.
Right on.
big man in the house.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Sports Cave on #Champs.
#Champs is a Twisted Curve production.